So this is a Blaze Radio exclusive interview with Rosie. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I am so good. Thank you so much for being here and doing this. I know you have a busy schedule. You're on tour right now. How is that?
Tour has been absolutely incredible. I keep saying that I could not have asked for a better first tour. It's a dream first tour.
Yeah, and it's with Chelsea Cutler, right?
So Chelsea
How
Cutler and Adam Melcher, who's the other opener.
and how has been working with them been?
I truly mean I have never had such a positive experience. So Chelsea is one of the kindest people, one of the most generous people on stage and off, and the same with Adam. And so working with these two extremely talented individuals has been amazing, but also getting to know them as people has been incredible, because that's just absolutely incredible that I get to be with these amazing people. And it's been overall, I think it's been one of the most positive experiences of my life.
Yeah, I know you post a lot on TikTok, and I saw a couple of your videos of like at concerts, people like singing your songs back to you. How has that what does that feel like as an artist?
It's definitely like little Rosie is definitely freaking out. Like it was something I always wanted to have a mic and be able to like point it to the audience and have them respond. And so to have it be real is pretty earth shattering. And
Yeah.
as an opener, I never expect audience participation because I pretty sure 99% of people who are there for Chelsea or Adam.
Right.
So it is honestly, it's such a surprise in the best way. It's such a pleasant surprise to see people singing back, and it makes me feel like my purpose as an artist is being fulfilled to see all these people really, really resonating and singing along.
Yeah, and I think one of the things people like really resonate with about your music is your lyrics. You do all these like heart-wrenching, like deep cut lyrics. And so like how does that like I see you and you seem like this like ray of sunshine. Like how do you
Yeah.
write like that?
So I'm a firm believer in using songwriting in a cathartic way. So for me, I always say like the reason I can be so happy and so positive and exist in this space is because I get to express all of that fear and any type of negativity, any type of deep feelings. I get to put it into my music, and so
Mm.
for me, it's like my outlet. So I get to exist in my life very happily and full of so much gratitude because I have this outlet, and I have this quote that a songwriting teacher said to me once. She was like, Rosie, you have to write about what scares you. And so starting probably like 2 years ago is when I really started taking that up. And by writing about what scares me, it turns out a lot of people are scared by the same thing. And I'm, of course, deeply empathetic towards that, but I'm also really glad to know that we are finding a community of people who are also going through, mental health and going through certain phases of their life that they might feel like they're going through alone, but to know that there's music that people have to unite, they get to unite together.
Yeah. Talking about that, writing about what scares you, you have this new single that came out, Next Life, that came out on March 4th. And I know you write about like being scared of dying and things like that in that song. Can you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yeah. So strangely enough, in my lifetime, I have witnessed a lot of death, and probably more than and then a 22-year-old should. But this song is actually, for me, it's a hope song. It's like
Mm.
no matter how dark things can get and no matter how hard you work, it's always important to remember that there is life and there is hope, whether that's in a next life literally or if it's more of a phase. So like my next life, this next version of who I am is going to be the best version of who I am. And so on one hand, I think it can be perceived very, very dark, like, oh, I'm done with this life. But really, for me, what it is it's a song about seeing the light in the dark, and being realistic of like, I am scared of dying. I don't want to die, but I want to enter the next phase of my life where I can be happy and where I can be my best self. So that's kind of what it's about.
The other thing I've been listening to on repeat actually has been your album that came out last October, 20 Milligrams of Happiness. I love that album.
Thank you so much.
I know your song, Never the One, is on it, but that song came out like way back in 2020. And I that was when I first connected to your music, was with that song. Yes.
That's crazy.
So can you talk to me a little bit about like your journey from writing Never the One, having that like connect with so many people, and then to the point where you are now?
Yeah, it took me a while to really understand why Never the One resonated as much as it did, because I was like, oh, is it because it counts from 10 to 1? Like, oh, to be honest, I didn't really think the melody was very catchy. I thought the lyrics were like cool, but like kind of forced. Like, to me, that was not going to be the song that would do it for me. And so it probably took me a year at least of reflection to understand that the reason it resonated was because I was expressing sadness and fear and heartbreak and disappointment and all of those super universal feelings. And so how that transferred into my EP is that as soon as I made that connection of like, oh, okay, people are really going through it right now, whether it's the pandemic or anything else, I think people need to hear more of that. And so somehow I realized, I had been writing these songs for the last 2 years, and they all had this common thread of this pain and this heartbreak. And like I said, that's my form of expression and my outlet. And so when I was figuring out what the concept for the EP was, it just came to me that it was the 5 stages of grief, that each song represents a different stage of grief, because I was going through it. And I also realized the rest of the world was going through it. Like, I'm pretty sure every single person on this planet has gone through the 5 stages of grief over these last couple of years because of COVID and because of everything going on. And so I would like to think the concept came to me more than I've discovered the concept. I think it was already written and I just had to put the puzzle pieces together. But I definitely started with Never the One for sure.
Yeah. Can you talk to me a little bit about like the rest of that album? Do you have like a favorite song? Do you feel like there's one like performing you like the best?
That's a good one. I love that question. Yeah. So this project has been one of the most creative endeavors I've ever done, because this is the first time working with a label, first time working with a team, and having to think about like visuals, having to think about performing these songs, and I had such a blast with it. But I actually think my favorite song to perform is Sad, 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 which is where 20 Milligrams of Happiness comes from. That's the lyric. But I have found that people have quite a reaction to the "it's been a year," because it's really been a year,
It
like
has, yeah.
It's been a crazy couple years. And so that's definitely been my favorite, and it just humbles me, honestly, like being on stage and seeing these reactions. I'm so lucky. I'm the luckiest person ever.
I know you talk a lot about like you have this no filters kind of thing going on. You like, I saw one of your TikToks, you had like one of those makeup filters on and was like, you don't need this.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like that mentality and why that's so important to you.
So as someone who grew up in the era of Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok and even Vine and whatever, I started to see this trend where people were using beauty filters or using Facetune or any type of beauty enhancing apps or filters. And for me, it definitely sparked a lot of insecurity and eating disorder, and like really, for me, just comparing myself to all these people on the internet. And so when it came time to really figure out what I stood for as an artist, I wanted to, again, do something that scared me and take a risk. And it also really scared the people around me. Like, I was told, oh, you're not going to get signed. You're not going to be, if you don't look like a pop star, you're not going to be a pop star. Like, makeup is important. Filters are important. Like, aesthetic is important. And if you don't have it, you're not going to go anywhere. And I was genuinely told that. And so I did it, and I am doing it. And of course, there are days when I rethink it, because I show up on camera and I have like dark circles, or like I'm breaking out or whatever. And so I try to emphasize that I am not anti-makeup, because I think makeup is a beautiful expression. I think it's an art form. I have so much respect for people who use their face as a canvas. I think that's amazing. My point is just that I hope no one feels like they need it to be beautiful. And I also hope everyone knows that there is at least one person, and I know there are others who are on Instagram and they're presenting as exactly who they are. So there's nothing, if you see me in person, I want you to see, oh, she looks exactly like she does on Instagram. I want these younger women especially, but everyone else too, to understand that social media can be a realistic place as much as it is unrealistic. And I don't want anyone else to suffer from such comparisons and eating disorders or anything else because of what they see on the internet.
Who would you say are your like music inspirations?
So I mean, I have so many music inspirations. Someone that I think is totally on their own path and doing their own thing is Julia Michaels. I think, whether it's her being super vocal about body hair or an all natural face, or just the way she writes, again, so honestly, that's someone I really, really look up to. I think someone else who's become a good friend of mine is Noah Kahan, who he's just one of the most honest writers I have ever met. And it's just so inspiring to know that you can write from your deepest, darkest fears and still have it resonate and be received with love. And so he's someone else I really resonate with. And then in terms of just artistry, I think Casey Musgraves is one of the most inspiring writers. She totally is able to take country and blend it with pop, blend it with Latin. There's a lot of Latin in her last album. And so I literally have a tattoo. That's a Casey Musgraves tattoo. But yeah, I'd say those three are pretty big for me right now.
I wanted to ask you, is there anyone who you would like love to collaborate with? I know you did a song with John Kay, and I love that song. It's I Love You More. That song is so great. So is there anyone that you're looking to collaborate with in the future? Anything like that?
I mean, also, thank you so much. I just am so glad I got to do that with John. I, again, would love to work with Julia Michaels. I'm super excited also to collaborate with Chelsea, because, we've had this time on tour and we've just been talking, and I'm just so excited to collaborate with her in any capacity. Doesn't even have to be relating to me as an artist, but I'm excited to collaborate with her. And I think that another big person that I would really, really, really love to collaborate with is Casey at some point, but far in the future, I think. Very far in the future.
Yeah, maybe, hopefully not too far, because that would be awesome. But
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
Do you have anything that you're like working on right now? Any songs in the works that we can get excited for?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on my second EP, which I'm super pumped about, because I'm in a little bit of a sonic transformation, where the first project was very much deep in the songwriting and the singer-songwriter aspect and genre. And now I'm trying to pull from that and go into a little bit more traditional pop. And so keeping with who I am, so, the live instrumentation and these super like dark chords and dark concepts, but really moving into a more pop space. And I don't totally know what that means. And so I'm really excited for the second project, because I'm definitely going to be experimenting more just with production and sonically. And so definitely hyped for that. I'm very hyped for that. And I'm currently working on putting out a single, which I have been leaking all over the internet.
Is there anything else that you want to add? Anything that you think?
I mean, I just, all I can say is I've been so grateful for the last 2 months and getting to meet all of these amazing people. And I just, I hope anyone who reads this or anyone who sees this, hopefully I get the opportunity to meet them at some point, because it's been so special for me to finally make contact and meet these people face to face who have been supporting me. So if I see you at any point, I am ready to give big hugs to everyone.
I love that. Well, people can come see you Wednesday, the 20th at the Marquee Theater in Tempe. I am so stoked for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much. I had so much fun.